Hello, I'm Halim Ramses. I'm an artist from Cairo, Egypt, and I'm a current resident at 32 degrees. I'm really interested in the potential of gatherings as an aspiration for the political and how we can think of everyday gatherings as a way for political change and for social change in our life. And I think in the residency I was also introduced to the term prefigurative politics, and I think it's something I'm really connected to. So as we tend to think of like major momentums in like a linear line that they cause the change, but I'm really interested in everyday interactions, and I'm also trying how can we collectively explore like this critique, because we have a lot of critique, and then the question is like how can we really embody this critique that we are reading, how can it influences the spaces we are in, the relationships that we are having, and the friendships and the everyday interaction, and how can we think of this cosmology of humans and non-humans, objects and human and objectified bodies, and all of these things together, and how can they have this interaction really through our, and how are we feeling, and the different dynamics of that. For my residency at 32, I wanted to explore different notions related to gatherings, the possibility of people from different backgrounds to come together in a shared meaning process, the methodologies of being in a group, and also how time is felt within the group, and how can it influence the decision, how can the momentum influence our decisions or our emotions. But of course it didn't make sense to explore all these things alone. So I worked on an invitation where I tried to write out my intentions, my desires, my skepticism, my positionality, like my aspiration as much as I can. And I put the invitation out there, and with the aspiration to form a group where we can explore these things together. And we formed a group. We were 8 groups, and I worked on I made a game. I gathered some readings, conversation prompts, and some exercises that we can explore together. And the idea is that I facilitate the first 4 gatherings, but then my role takes us a step back, and then we find ways to continue being part of the group with different decision-taking techniques and all of these things. We are currently working on a novel where everyone is writing a chapter stating the story of what the group did and what we went through. So most of the things maybe would unfold in the novel, but it's also the question of what we want, like what type of knowledge and traces that we want to leave behind. There are really many highlights to my residency, but I think, for example, I really feel very touched by the care that Gracie and Barbara does, where she prepares meals for everyone every day, and you know that at 1 we're all sitting and we're eating together. I think their energy would always be part of my mind somehow, and also to share the everyday of 32 team, and being part of the everyday situation, and to share this kind of thing, and also knowing that I think the library, I felt super excited playing around the library, exploring books, reading different books, and going through different books, and the friendship. I think I made friends that I would really hope that we meet again, and maybe hopefully in Cairo or here or in any other cities, hopefully, and then we get to meet again.